Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. I'm joined with Daoud Kim. I don't need to introduce him. You guys know who he is. He has millions of followers, mashallah. Very, very, very inspirational brother. And I'm so excited you're on my channel. I feel like I'm not worthy to have you here. So it's so exciting for me.
I'm so honored. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mashallah. Okay, I'm going to start with something very deep. Who was Daoud Kim before versus who is Daoud Kim now?
Me. My Korean name. My Korean name is Jaehan. So I born in Korea and raised in Korea, and I also studied music before. So I work in music industry. But right now I become Muslim, alhamdulillah, and now my name is Daoud, and I work in some construction field and also making contents creating. So that's it.
Do you feel like you're a completely different person than who you were before? Do you feel like everything about you has changed?
I think it depends. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm same. Like sometimes when I'm with like old friends, talking with family, I'm just still Jaehan. I'm still. I thought like there's no change. My personality is same, but my attitude of mind is very different. I think because whatever I feel, whatever I learn, whatever I do, without Allah and with Allah is totally different. So I think depends, but yeah, I think my life right now is totally different in a good way. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. I like that. Without Allah, with Allah is very different. Yeah, I completely get what you're saying with that. So before you became Muslim, what did you believe in? What was your faith?
My whole family was Christian, so I was also Christian.
Okay.
So my name was David. In Korea, we say David. It's David. So I was Christian, and now I become Muslim. Alhamdulillah.
So how did your journey start? Like, how did you first hear about Islam in Korea? Like, what happened? How did it start?
Oh yeah, it's quite a long history actually. I studied music, and I also had work in music industry, and I also was a singer. So I have many performance in other countries, in Indonesia, in Tunisia. So I have a performance in Jakarta, Indonesia. So I go there and meet many Muslims there because before that I know about Islam before, but I have known about Islam, but in Korea there are very wrong news and very negative things about Islam. So I also thought like Islam is dangerous or something. But in Indonesia, I met real Muslims, and the reason there is a really big impact that I inspired by Muslim people. There were many girls who wear hijab, and I didn't know what is that, and I was really curious, like why do you wear that? And I asked that. I asked like, why do you wear? Isn't it too hot? Is it uncomfortable? Like, who made you forced to wear it, or something? But yeah, I really thought like that. But she answered me. She wear this for Allah. That answer really inspired me. Like, affects me. Like, how can you wear that for Allah? Even you can't see, you can't. It's really amazing. So I was really curious, like who is Allah and how can she wear? Oh, sorry, it's so loud here.
It's okay.
Yeah. So how she wear? And I was really curious. And after I come back to Korea, I get started to study what is Islam and what is Quran and how to pray and how to fast in Ramadan. And after that, I realized, oh, there is something, and there is something I can feel because before I believe in Allah, I always feel like my life is something missing. But after I know about Islam and study about Islam, I can feel something is always with me, always guide me, always help me. Then after I realized that, oh, my life changed a lot, and I was really depressed before. But after I believed Allah, and I feel that He is always with me. I think it's really big inspiration for me. And I was always curious, like why I born, and why I live. What's the purpose of the life, and especially uh, where I go after I die. That was really like important question for my life. But after I study about Islam, I feel that oh, there is the answer. And when I feel that when I'm with Allah, I feel like really, really calm, really peaceful, and more strong. So stronger. So after I realized that, oh, okay, then I want to be Muslim. So that's what I become Muslim. Alhamdulillah.
Subhanallah, such a big change. How did your family react to such big news?
Ah, it was really hard to say to my family because my whole family is Christian, and in Korea, as I told you, there are very stereotypes and bad images about Islam, against Islam. So when I say that, there was really surprised. My mom was really surprised, and my other family also didn't even want to talk with me. So it was hard. But after that, I show that like I have no change, and um, actually it's not. Islam gives me a lot positive things. I change in a good way. So after that, they start to understand. So now I talk with them, and yeah, now is everything's good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So when you became Muslim, did you face any kind of backlash with your career, your public image? Like how did people take it that you'd become Muslim in Korea, especially your fans and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's always good and bad things, and I believe that everything has a reason, and this is the always plan of Allah. So even though it's good or not, I think there's always a reason. So that doesn't affect me that much, I think.
Because I'm thinking like you were performing in other countries and you had a fan base. Did you get any kind of negative reaction from your fan base saying like, why has he become Muslim? Like he's become, I don't know, like a terrorist or something. Did you get anything like this from your fan?
Yeah, sometimes they say like that, but but like there's a pros and cons. Like um, some people say negative things, but some people say good things, and I become a Muslim for my mind and for Allah. So like I understand. Like I can't um, I can't make everyone happy. That's impossible. So I try not care.
What aspect of like what part of Islam resonates with your heart the most? Like really touched you? Like what part of Islam really touched you?
I said there are so many things, and but especially the thing that I really like Islam and the teaching of Islam is Allah is always guide me, because I always make so many mistakes. I always even nowadays I have so many mistakes, but I feel that Allah always guides me on the right path, inshallah. So even though I feel like sometimes why I always do mistake, why I'm so stupid, why I do this again, why I feel bad, but when I feel that Allah guides me, that makes me so calm and so peaceful. So I think that's really big parts for me. That's really big parts.
I guess in Christianity you don't have that direct connection, right? So when you become Muslim and you can have those moments where you directly connect to Allah when you're like repenting and things like that, I can get why it would be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
What was the hardest cultural barrier that you faced as a Muslim revert in South Korea?
I think other stuff is not that hard, but the foods is really hard for me. Foods. It's really hard to find.
I thought you would say that.
Yeah, it's really hard, and also really hard to find a prayer place outside. It's really hard. And like if you want to go to masjid, like you have to drive for 2 hours. If you want to go halal restaurant, you have to drive 1 hour and a half. So it's not easy.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah. And also, as I told you, like there are not many good images about Islam in Korea. So sometimes they misunderstand. Sometimes, yeah, like Islam. They think Islam is dangerous, and they oppress women. So when they say about this, I always try to explain in a good way. Then mostly they understand. So I think there's something hard stuff, but I'm handling.
Yeah, isn't pork a big part of South Korean culture? That must be really hard as well. Do you have like in the UK, we always in the news there are different things like hate groups against Islam, Islamophobic groups, or celebrities saying bad things about Islam. Do you have that in Korea?
Yeah, in Korea, like in reality, when I meet Korean people, they are always kind and they always understand me. But like in internet, I think it's harsh. Some people say bad stuff about Islam, and they say we can't accept Islam at all. Yeah, so sometimes I'm confused. Like when I meet them in real life, they're always kind, but in internet, like it's different. So yeah.
So like what were the biggest internal battles you faced when you decided to become Muslim? So like what was the thing that you had to really overcome to take your Shahada?
Actually, there are so many. So many.
Yeah,
so many. I think born Muslims, it's really hard to understand because I'm convert and I'm based on Korean culture and also Christianity. So there's sometimes when I study about Quran, sometimes this is against Korean culture, what I learned before. So like that at that time, like sometimes I confuse, like, oh, is this right or not? But at that time I try to pray because I always like inside of my mind there's always question. But when I pray and pray to Allah and request to Allah that help me, guide me, He always give me answer. So I think I overcome with Salah always. I like it's really hard to express the feelings, but when I complex, like my mind is so complicated. When I pray, it's really calm down, and I feel like I know the answer. So I think that's how I overcome.
Yeah, I completely get that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is a good question. Have you ever had to unlearn something that you thought was Islamic but later realized that it wasn't?
It's really interesting, and to be honest, I never thought like Islam is wrong. After I become Muslim, I 100% I'm sure Islam is right. But sometimes I feel like hard and have a hard time because of also Muslim people. When they are judged and when they have bad attitude against me, even sometimes like or opposite, like sometimes the people do some bad stuff, and which is what I think totally wrong. At that time I feel confused. Oh, is this right action? But if you read Quran, if you read Hadith, and if you learn about Islam, I'm also not perfect. I'm still learning, but Islam is very logical and easy religion, I think. So there is always answer, and if you live with the guide of the Islam, guide of the Quran, then it's always totally right, 100%. So Islam is perfect, but people are not. So sometimes it's confused my mind. But finally, at the end, I understand. Okay, Islam is perfect, but people are not. So I should learn more and focus on my deen. Because the relationship with Allah is mine, not others. So their faith is theirs. So I pray for them, but that's not my faith. My faith is only relationship with Allah. So that's how I handle this situation.
Definitely, that's great advice, mashallah. Yeah, I think when I first became Muslim and I started YouTube and everything, there was a lot of Muslims in my comments, like, you know, like the haram police and like everything was an issue. Do you still face things like that?
Yeah, right. Me, so many comments too. Like, this is haram, or you still like doing this or doing this.
Yeah, I remember like one video when I was a new Muslim, I was sitting with like my legs crossed, and then there was like somebody in the comments like, "You can't cross your legs," and then I was like, "This is like there's always like a problem with like everything." It's like, where did these things come from? Subhanallah, seriously. But anyway, thank you so much for interviewing for my channel. It's been so great to learn about your story and to get deep into some of the questions that, and I feel like it was very inspirational as well. So thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Thank you so much. Your story is also very inspiring me. So many videos.
Oh, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam.